Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what happened yesterday. I think this was really interesting because I was watching all of the photo ops with Jens Stoltenberg, and right behind him was the Turkish foreign minister of Turkey, of course, still standing very much in the way of Sweden joining the alliance. You and I have been talking to Jens Stoltenberg about this for months and months now. Are we any closer to seeing Sweden become a part of this alliance as well?
I think we're definitely closer. And the important thing about yesterday with Finland joining, we all knew it was going to happen at some point, but it makes it very clear that NATO is an alliance that's open to new members, and that if you meet the standards, you can get in. And I think that was something that NATO were very, very keen to stress yesterday. With Sweden, it looks like we are in the next 3 to 6 months. I mean, whether or not they get inside at or before the Vilnius summit of NATO leaders in July is a little bit of an open question. But as Stoltenberg keeps saying, and I sort of agree with him, it doesn't really matter about the formal moment. Sweden is de facto a member. It's sitting inside the meetings. And ultimately, if it were to be attacked tomorrow, NATO member states would come to its aid. One thing I would say, Hadley, is that talking to NATO officials, they don't think that Sweden is being completely out of order, that Turkey, is being completely out of order here, and that they do have some legitimate concerns. They are being addressed, of course, inside Sweden. There's some new legislation coming down the pipe in Stockholm. And once all those things are joined up and you remove Turkey's real reason for blocking it, then things should move pretty swiftly, as they did, let's face it, with Finland. Hungary, of course, another matter. Nobody's really quite clear why Viktor Orban is blocking Sweden. But the general assumption is that as soon as Turkey says fine, Hungary will have to do the same.
Hi, Henry, Dan here. I think even without Sweden for now, NATO as an institution has never looked stronger, particularly under Jens Stoltenberg's leadership. He's really played a central role in rallying Europe into this war. And what we see now is NATO right on Putin's doorstep. So I want your take on how you think the president might respond to this, what's going to happen next on the war front as a result.
That's right. I mean, of course, yesterday, as Hadley said, the Russians defense minister and the Kremlin both said we have to respond to this, we'll take countermeasures. But as usual, no real details there, a lot of it bluster and rhetoric. I mean, let's be brutally frank here, they don't have a huge amount of military capability that's not deployed in Ukraine that they could move, say, close to the Finnish border to intimidate or try to make a point there. The thing I would say is that, Finland really since the Second World War has only really had one defense structure, and that is to defend against potential invasion from Moscow. They have a conscription army. They've been investing in their defense for the last few decades, even as other European countries have taken a peace dividend and reduced. So Finland's pretty prepared for what might come in the event of a decision in Moscow to do that. Personally, I think it's very, very unlikely. Of course, as I said, Russia is quite militarily committed in Ukraine, and they don't really have the capability to do something else. But Finland, nobody in NATO is thinking, oh, goodness, we have a new member. We have to use up resources defending it. Finland is pretty capable of defending itself.